Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another session of Let's Talk by Interlingua. I am Mike Reese, your host, and today we are going to cover a very interesting, but some might find it strong, a very particular topic, which is, like the title says, I almost died. We're going to talk about near death experiences. The good thing about this is that fortunately, the people who will talk to us about their near death experiences obviously are still with us, fortunately. Think about it. And this is for all our viewers. Have you ever gotten into a near death experience? What happened? And did your perspective of life change somehow? Did you learn something? Did you change anything? It gives you something to think about, especially before you go to sleep, right? Well, I just can say, guys, please enjoy life, make the best of it, chase whatever you want to do, because everything can go out in a second. I mean, don't leave things for tomorrow because there might not be any. But, like I said, fortunately, these experiences had a happy ending. So let's bring out our guests tonight so they can speak with us. Hey, for in one corner, we have Jordi, and in the second corner, we have Carmen. How are you guys? Hello.
Hello, hello.
Good to see you again, guys. Welcome back. Wow. Oh, man, this is such a Oh, what are we going to do? I mean, I'm in such a good mood, and this is such a dark topic, but we will figure it
Yeah.
out. We will figure it out. Right now, I appreciate the fact that you were able to talk about this in a moment, and thank you for taking the time. So, without further ado, let's go over to the obvious. Your near-death experiences. What were they, Jordi?
Oh, well, I'll let you choose because I actually have two. I have one when, for some unexplained reason, I was convinced I was about to die in like any moment given. That's one. And there was another time in which I almost jumped to the subway tracks. Yeah, so I'll let you choose.
Oh my god, I don't know what to choose. It's when I go to an ice cream shop. I never know what flavor to choose, and I'm always like, or has it happened to you that maybe you were in a streaming platform and you spend more time deciding what to watch than the movie itself?
Yeah.
Well, I'm like that. But fortunately, we have time to cover both. So
Oh my.
for now, for now, let's talk about the first one. The
The
one that
first
you
one.
were convinced that that was it. What was it? What happened?
Okay. So one day I just woke up. I'm pretty sure I had a nightmare that night. So I woke up, and then this idea came to my mind, like, you know what, you're about to die, maybe in the next hour, maybe tomorrow, but it's very close. And I was like, oh my. So I mean, I tried to do my usual stuff, go to work and everything. But eventually, that pressure of you're going to die, it was like too much. I started having trouble sleeping. Then I just didn't care about anything because I was about to die. So I gave away a lot of my things, books, watches, clothes, a lot of things because I was, I'm not going to need them wherever I go next. So yeah, it was very strange because I was like really, really sure it was going to happen, and I couldn't do anything to avoid it.
Wow. And Well, obviously it didn't happen, right? But
No.
when did you were totally convinced that okay, I think I'm safe. I think I can go on now. When did you lose the fear?
Now the thing is, as I said, I got a lot of trouble sleeping, so I had this brilliant idea of drinking a lot in order to be able to sleep. And one day, I mean, it worked at first, right? But eventually, as it happens with these kind of things, I
Yeah.
started needing more and more and more and more. And one day, my father saw me having a can of whiskey for breakfast and only one can of whiskey. And then I went to work. And he was like, okay, we need to talk. And, he gave me the talk and whatnot. And in that moment, I was like, yeah, he's right. And for some reason, that brought me back to my senses. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to die, well, it's going to happen. Who cares? And after that, that feeling of or that sensation that I was about to die just disappeared. It was very strange.
So you came in peace with it, like you just let yourself go.
Yeah, I was like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. What can I do?
Do you still have that posture about it?
Yeah, it's a little bit different now because of my family. But I mean, I have the idea that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and I mean, I cannot do anything about it. Of course, at this point, it scares me a little bit because who is going to take care of my baby? What's going to happen with my family? But about myself, it's like, well, I'm not. I'm not going to notice it. Well, hopefully. um, so yeah. So I think I'm quite okay with the idea now.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that, Jordi.
Yeah,
We will
no
talk in a
problem.
moment about the second experience.
Oh my.
But
Okay.
until then, Carmen, how are you?
Hi, I am fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Now, what about you, my dear? Can you tell me about a near death experience that you had?
Yes, of course. Almost,
Okay.
almost exactly 2 years ago. I mean, like now 2 years and 1 month. I had a car accident, and it was like
Mhm.
very, very, very bad. I mean, the truck where we were going was totally destroyed. Like, but everybody was okay. Absolutely everybody. I mean, there we were four people. So the four of us went out with some injuries, but fine.
But I
And
mean, you said you were in a truck?
yeah, it was my grandfather's truck. Those ones
Uh,
that are used to work.
okay.
And that is it. But I mean, I think it was like a pretty old truck, so it didn't have any seat belts, you know. And even if it had it, I mean, honestly, it happened in a very small town, so I don't know why people don't use seatbelts there. So anyways, we were not going to use those. So well, we had the accident. We crashed. I mean, it was I don't know. We were like, well, my aunt was driving like very fast, and then she realized we were going to impact a school. So she tried to turn the wheel so she could like avoid the school, you know.
Yeah.
And then she thought it was like she was not going to make it, and she pulled the I forgot the name. Sorry, this thing to stop.
Uh,
It's
the
handbrake.
brakes?
Exactly. Yes, she pulls that,
Okay.
and in that moment, everything went wrong. Like the truck literally lifted off the ground, and we started to spin. you know, I
Yeah.
think we turned around like 3 times or something, and then we touched the ground, and the truck did this, like, and that was it. I mean, and fortunately, the the truck ended up with the four wheels on the ground. So that was
Okay.
really lucky. We went out, and that was it. I mean, I remember that when I went out of the car, I this eye was like strange. All my vision on this side was like all blurry. So I thought like, dang it, my eye. Like I lost my eye, and but I was like, okay, but I am alive. And then eventually after a couple of minutes, it went back to normal. So I was okay, so my eye is fine, you know. And then I remember that I did this, like because I felt my face like strange, and I
Mhm.
saw my hand, and it was completely covered in blood. So I was like, okay. So in that moment, I don't know, that can be very ridiculous, but I remember that I was very worried about my face, you know, like um I don't know, like I was okay like having a scar in my arm or somewhere else, but not in my face.
Mhm.
So I I told my sister to take a picture, of my face, and she did it. So I have the picture. I was okay, and that was it. I mean, after that, we went home, we took a shower. The next day, we went to the doctor and everything. And something important in this story, the
Yeah.
driver was a little bit drunk. So, of course, I
Uh,
mean, it is the typical advice, like if you drink, don't drive. But she drank and she drove. So, what could go wrong went wrong,
mhm.
and there were three more people. That was it.
But I am assuming everybody lived, right?
Yes, 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 yes. We are all.
Ugh.
Don't worry.
That's because I mean, man, a crash is a crash. So well, it. I mean, did you like had permanent damage after that, or you just healed?
I have some scars, like here on my eyebrow, here. Like I have one big scar here behind
Hmm.
my ear. But that was it. I mean, for example, one of the person who was driving the car got one of her lungs really hurt with her bones.
Okay.
So it took months and months to heal. She had to use a lot of um I don't know, things to recover, like physically.
Hmm.
But I mean, eventually everybody got fine. So
She was the one who was drinking and driving.
yes, but I don't know.
Oh.
At that moment, I am not trying to defeat her or anything, but I think because she hit a car. I mean,
Hmm.
she parked and she hit another car. So my cousin told her, like Danny, we have to go away. So I think she crashed not because she was drunk, but because she was very nervous. I mean, in that moment, her
Uh,
only goal was to go away, to disappear, to lose the person who we hit.
she got stressed.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
I mean, she hadn't even drunk that much, and that's
So
it.
did you come from a party, or it was just like a reunion? Like, hey, let's hang out and
It
we'll
was a
have fun.
family reunion, actually. It was
Oh.
my aunt, the driver, my cousin, my sister, and I. So, I mean, there were more people, like all my family was there, and that is it. I mean, for example, my family is like religious, and they say it's because we went out on a Holy Friday. You know, like you're not supposed to go out on a Holy Friday. So
Oh.
they say it's because of that. I don't think so. It's like,
Jesus got
but
angry.
why are you driving in my?
Yeah. What are you hammered in my in this
Yes,
day?
exactly.
Oh, well, I also want to know. I mean, of course, I want to know about your aftermath, but the person who was driving, the girl,
Mhm.
did she change something in her life after that? Like, I mean, did she quit drinking, or now she's more careful, or she hasn't she hasn't driven again? What's up with her life?
I am not very sure. I mean, because she quit drinking like for a couple of months. You know, I mean, for a
Ah,
couple of months.
okay,
um,
okay.
right? I mean, she says she doesn't drink anymore, but I mean, sometimes when we have a party or a reunion and things like that, she drinks. But I mean, I've never seen her like super drunk again. You know, I've never seen her like super drunk like ever, even that day. You know,
Okay.
and she says she's. I mean, it took her a while to drive again. And she was like all nervous at the beginning, you know. But I mean, it was 2 years ago, so I now she drives the car and she drives it like normally, you know?
Mm, well, at least everybody made it, which is a good
Yes,
thing.
yes. To be honest, I'm really glad of that, you know, like I really can't imagine what would have happened if somebody got like a really hurt, you know, or worse. It's like I don't know, because for example, my mother and my cousin's mother were very angry at her, obviously, you know, because I mean, like,
Of
how is this
course.
possible? You were so irresponsible, la la la. So it's like, I mean, they of course were right, but it's like, I don't know. I think the dynamic of the family would have been like very, very difficult after that, you know?
What happened to your sister? What you said you had your hand hurt. You had your face covered with a lot of blood, and then what happened to your sister?
She says, I mean, she was the least hurt of the four because she says that I mean, that she realized we were about to crash. So she did this, you know, like uh,
Uh,
she tried
she
to
got into
protect
the right
herself.
position. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was it. So she was fine. I mean, she got her neck a little bit hurt, but after 1 month, she was fine.
After a month, did you take a month as well to recover?
Um, Medically, yes, but in reality, no. I mean, because for example, I had also like some injuries in my neck, and they told
Yeah.
me I had to take therapy to recover. You know, for example, the strength in my hand and in my
Um,
neck, things like that. But to be honest, that kind of therapy is expensive. You know, and in that moment we didn't have the money. So what I did, I have done exercise for many years. I mean, not super intense, but like normal exercise. So for maybe like for 2 months, I did only stretching. You know, I stretched every day. I did very slow exercises, and eventually I got better. So I think that helped a lot, and that's it.
good to know, Carmen. Good to know. I will get back to you in a moment.
All right.
Jordi,
Yes,
Jordi,
Mike.
it's time, man. It's time for the experience number two. Would you
Oh
care to
no.
share it, please? Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I had this job And with my coworkers, I used to, to pass the blunt. And so one day we had just finished our working schedule. We were outside the building doing our thing, and then we went home. At that time, I used to take the subway from my workplace to the place I used to live at. So I went to the tube station. I was waiting for the train, and everything was fine. I mean, I was listening to music and everything. But the moment I saw the train coming in, I felt this impulse in my legs of jumping, you know. And I mean, I it's not something that I wanted. It's not something that I had planned. It just happened. I just felt it, and I was like, "What is going on?" And I remember I felt my legs like super tense because they wanted to jump, but at the same time they weren't, and I was full of anguish, and I was like, "Oh my, oh my, oh my!" And but of course, I didn't say anything. I didn't scream, or I don't know why, because I think it would have been way easier to be like, help me, I'm going to jump, but I didn't do it. I suppose I was like too surprised to do anything. So I was like in this let's say debate between these two parts of myself, like the part that wanted to jump and the part that didn't want to jump. I got like cramps all across my legs because they were like super tense. And the worst part, now that I remember it, the train, sometimes, or at least in the subway here in Mexico City, sometimes they arrive slower than usual. Sometimes they stay outside of the station for a while, and they advance. And I remember this one in particular was like super slow, or maybe I perceived it like super slow, and I was
Okay.
like, hell no. But the moment the train arrived to the station and the doors open, I was like, oh, thanks. And then I just got into the train, and I remember I didn't even sit on a like those benches they have. I sat on the floor because I was like shaking and everything, and that was it. But I swear, those, I don't know, it was intense. It was really surprising. I was scared. Honestly, I was scared because it's like, what's happening? And yeah, that's pretty much it.
How long ago do you say that happened?
It was like 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago. And you were coming back from work.
Yeah.
Okay. Has that feeling, or have you felt that way again? Because it's actually a pretty common feeling to know to. It's like when you are in a high place
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and you look down and you see the pavement, you see the street, and you sometimes feel like this urge to just like
Yes.
jump.
Yes, it even has a name, but I don't remember it right now. But
Ah, you're
yes,
right.
yes, I have felt it. That's why I hate like crossing bridges and whatnot, and I try not to look down, because the moment I look down, like my mind automatically starts like, what would happen, or what would it be like to jump, or it's like shit no, or like I'm on the side of a big avenue and I see the like the buses passing by, and my brain is like, jump, jump, jump. It's like, nope, nope, or things like that. Um, this is not like, it's not going to sound fine, and I won't be allowed to cook anymore. But even when I'm cooking and I have to use the blender, like I'm like my hand fits right in there, and it's like, no, no, no.
Oh, you
But
want to get it into
yes,
the oh
yes,
my
yes,
god.
yes, it's insane. It happens at the most unexpected moments, and it's like, do something, do something. It's like, no, please, no, please, no. So yeah.
Actually, I'm doing because I got a little bit curious myself. I'm doing a little research as we speak right now about that feeling.
Uh-huh.
And well, this is also for our viewers, anyone who is interested by it. It's it's actually a French term because it was
Yes.
French experts who actually did some professional research about it, and it's called l'appel du voix,
Yes,
which
that one.
can be translated to the calling of the void.
Void. Yes.
It says right here it's a phenomenon mostly that happens in high places. It doesn't exist a real connection between a suicide attempt and the idea of just jumping to the void. But because almost every time that people feel this, they don't actually jump. So it is a pretty common sensation. To our viewers, let us know in the comments if you have felt that way. Because let me tell you, Jordi, I have felt what you felt also in the subway. Yes,
Yeah.
I look at the tracks and I'm just like, let's just go. But then all of a
Why
sudden
not?
I go, yeah, like I mean, it would be cool, especially if I'm in a rush and I need to get to the other side. I'm like, screw this, and boom, I mean, it's right there. But no, 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 no. I think about it, and the more I think about it, the more I get scared, and the more I convince myself not to do it. Carmen,
Yeah.
have you felt that way in a moment in your life?
I have sometimes, but it happens to me more often to push other people. You know,
No.
I mean, I don't think a lot about jumping myself, but I think every single time about pushing another person. You know, sometimes I am with my sister, and also we have like I don't know if we are in a high place or something like that. I do this, you know, like, but I mean, I don't touch her. I move to the side, you know, like, and I try to keep a good distance so that I don't touch her even by accident, you know. So I go like I step aside and then I do this, you know, and she looks at me and she's like, you know, and it happens all the time. I mean, for example, sometimes people are walking and I think about like putting my foot in front of them so that they fall, you know. I mean, that kind of things happen a lot to me, you know, like I I don't know, like mm, that, you know, like something similar, but not to myself, for other people.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this because this is what I feel. Something well, no, practically every time I see a person doing this. Tell me if this happens to you or if you can relate to this somehow. Every time, every time I see a person in a bicycle coming my way, every single time I just want to like boom,
Oh.
to to throw him off or I don't know, do something in order for them to fall down. Do
Right.
you? Is that how you feel with what you were saying, or have you
um
felt that thing as well?
I like yes and no, you know, because I haven't thought about like doing that to them, but I have imagined there is a rock, you know, for example, like right in the way that they're going. I mean, I am like I imagine and kind of wish there was a rock, you know,
For
in
them
the
to
middle.
crash.
Eh?
For them to crash.
Yes, for them to crash. I mean to I mean, not to really hurt them, but for to make some changes in their way, like,
Okay.
and that's it, you know. I don't know. That's
Something
it.
to, well, this inner feeling of wanting to hurt someone or just like make someone's day bad all of the sudden. Why does this happen to us? I don't know, but at least for 5 seconds, it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah.
I confess. I confess. Yeah. I mean, come
Right.
on. I mean, we cannot. We can't be like all smiley and I feel good all the time. I mean, no.
Yes, of
Sometimes we need a
course.
little balance. We need to, like, if we angry, it's okay to feel angry. If we feel like, I don't know, we have all the world in our shoulders, it's okay to say like, hey, I'm tired, I'm done with this, right?
Yeah,
Well,
of
at
Yeah.
least
course.
that's how I feel about it, and I really hope our viewers also, whenever they feel very stressed or they're under a lot of pressure, please find something to help you calm down, because when stress, pressure, bad feelings, even traumas get accumulated, some of the consequences may be very, very, very severe. Hopefully, you guys, no, fortunately, both of you received, well, I was going to say second chance, but I think you already had a third one. And I'm just glad you guys are here. I'm just glad you guys are here. And I mean, let's talk about what you learn from those experiences. Jordi, in your case, well, you, I'm sorry, man, you had it
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, it's
You had
fine.
it twice. Do you, are you the same person that you were before those two experiences, or nothing has changed at all?
Nah, of course, I'm not the same anymore. Like, to start with, I try not to drink. Like, if I drink like once or twice a year, it's like a lot. Yeah, I completely try to avoid it, or as much as I can, because I
Okay.
know what can happen. After that episode, when I thought I was about to die, I remember that before that, I used to spend a lot of money on clothing. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I would buy new suits, new shirts every week. And after that, I just stopped buying stuff because for some reason it made me realize I already had too much. It wasn't like really necessary, and ever since I adopted this idea of less is better, at least with possessions, and and nowadays I am super happy having only what I have. Like, I don't know. I mean, I have moved a lot recently, so I promise all my stuff fits in 3 boxes. Just 3 boxes, and well, of course, my instruments, but I cannot put those in boxes. But 3 boxes, that's all I have. Um, and after the second, it's like obviously I quit doing certain things. um, um, for a while, I avoided the subway, of course, but now it's okay. Um, and But I think those were like the only things, and I consider those changes were for the better. Like, I don't worry about having a lot of things. I don't worry about doing something stupid because I am like intoxicated or whatever. So I think everything is a little bit better now. And of course, I mean, as you said, I've had it twice. So after 2 times, like, you get used to the idea, and it's like, whenever it happens, like, what can you do, man? It's just wait for it. And yeah, about that in particular, I think I am more relaxed now. And I'm going to quote, because I'm a big nerd and a big fan, I'm going to quote Harry Potter, like in the story of the three brothers, like when they said, like, the last one received the death as an old friend, and then he went gladly. I
Mhm.
think, and I hope I am like that at this point. It's like, if it's going to happen, fine. I try to do what I want to do, as long as I don't harm others. I try to be the best version of myself, that sort of thing, so that when the moment comes, it's like, okay, it's fine. But I think that at this point, I'm quite okay with the with the with that moment happening.
Okay. You're right. So Jordi is now a changed man.
Kinda.
Well, like you said, you're hoping to be the best version of yourself. I hope you manage to do it. I hope
Yeah, me
that
too.
continues to happen. I hope that continues to grow.
Yeah.
Carmen, your experience was relatively recent. Two 2 years and 1 month ago.
Yes, more or less.
Okay, so same question. I mean, did someone change within you? I mean, I don't know. Did you change a habit, or maybe why not your perspective in life?
I don't know, because for example, in that moment, I mean, when the
Mhm.
accident happened, I have like very bad depression, you know. So
Okay.
sometimes I would wake up and think like, okay, I am alive. I didn't die that day. I need to do something important with my life and to enjoy it, you know. And some other days I would wake up and be like, like, God, I wish I I did that I died that day, you know.
Okay.
Like I had this kind of feelings that were like very dark, you know, that I kind of regret it. I didn't die that day, you know, like it was something very strange. Now I don't have that kind of thoughts anymore. I mean, I am fine now, but in that moment, it was like something very common, you know. And then, for example, another impact that I can see in my life after 2 years is that I wasn't fearless, you know, like about the world, you know, but now I am scared most of the time when I go outside, you know. I mean, for example, some of my friends have motorcycles, and sometimes I ride with them, and I
Oh.
feel very nervous, you know, like when we go on the street, I feel like very nervous. If I go outside when there are many cars, I feel nervous. I mean, even if I am walking, you know, I feel very nervous, you know. Like a couple of weeks ago, I went to the cinema at night, and it was horrible. I felt like very stressed, because when we went out, we walked a little bit, and I was very nervous. I was like totally overwhelmed by the cars, you know, the noise, the lights, everything. I was like very, very nervous. And it happens, you know, like more often now. And I mean, it didn't ever happen before, you know. I
Mhm.
wasn't afraid of cars in general. And now I am, you know, even to cross the street, when I ride my bicycle. I mean, those are some activities that I still do, but with fear, you know. And I want to learn how to drive. I Right now I can't drive, but I want to learn how to do it. And it's like, oh my god, how am I going to do it? It's like I get nervous. For example, when I am on the bicycle, if I start going too fast, I get nervous, like very, very scared. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I think that with practice, and if I eventually start learning it, it will get better. But right now, it's like, for me, it seems almost impossible, like to forget, not to forget that, but to live,
Handle it.
to handle it. Yes. So yes, that's it. I mean, I go outside. I have like a normal life, like, but I am inside. I am nervous.
Oh, well, I mean, it's perfectly reasonable. I mean, after all, it was a traumatic experience, but I think it's good. If I may say, I think it's good that you talk about it for you to, I mean, let it go piece by piece at the pace that you want. But I hope that pretty soon
Hmm.
you you manage to drive without getting all nervous.
Yes. I mean,
You can do it.
thank you. Thank you. I hope so. I mean, again, that is not something that stops me from living my life, but it's like, I think that the moment I start driving or learning to drive, it
Yeah,
may get better, Actually, it's like, I don't know, but when I have the control, I feel better, I mean, like, it's
of
like,
course.
I don't know. I have driven sometimes. I can't drive like on a highway, you know. But when I do it, I feel okay, because I know that I control the vehicle I'm driving, But I am always nervous about what's going around, I mean, because I can't control other people or other vehicles. So I think that is what scares me the most. But it's like, that's it.
I have that exactly. I have that exact feeling uh, when I ride a motorcycle. I mean, the most ironic thing in the world. I mean, I don't own a motorcycle, but somehow I get involved in situations when I have to ride one. Like, hey, I need you to please. Can you please deliver this to my sisters because I'm at work and I can't do it. I mean, okay, I will. Or can you help me with this? I'm moving and I'm okay. Rum, 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 rum. I feel what you feel. Like I don't think I write it bad, but what about the all the other drivers? What if they
Exactly.
drive horribly? What if they are sleepy? What if they are drunk? I mean, it's anything can happen, and I mean, it sucks because I like motorcycles. I love Triumph, Indian, Harley Davidson, those type of bikes now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But every time I get on one, I get very anxious and I get very nervous. It's like, oh man, this
Yeah.
sucks. I really want a bike, but now I'm not so sure to have one. Ah!
Something similar happened to me, because like before that I really wanted to buy, I mean, I wanted to start with a scooter, and then a motorcycle, because motorcycles are bigger and I'm very short.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought like, okay, so I can buy a scooter first, and then in a couple of years I can get a motorcycle, because my boyfriend in that moment had a motorcycle, and I would go on it with him every day. And for me that was super normal, like, and it was not only normal, but it was great, I loved it. I mean, the feeling of the wind, for example, on my face, everything. It was like, I don't know, like so amazing, And after that, I cannot feel the same. Sometimes I am like, okay, relax, look around, what's going on, I start looking at the sky and things like that, and I feel better. But after a couple of seconds, I don't know, the noise or something gets me back to reality. I am all nervous again. So it's like,
Oh man, I hope you get over that because I know what you're talking about. It's sort of like liberating to feel the
yes,
wind
yeah,
and maybe the sun in your face or just looking at the view while you're there. It's actually a pretty cool feeling. It's
yeah,
actually a pretty cool feeling. Guys. This is curious. Okay, let me put it to you this way, and I will give you an example. Do you have a certain fear of not doing something because you are almost convinced that if you do it, you will definitely die or you have a high risk to die? Let me give you an example. For example, in my case, where I come from, they practice bungee jumping from a real high place. And everybody says, "Hey man, you should do it," because some of my friends have done it, some of my family also has done it, and I'm like, no, because I'm terrified of heights, and we're talking about free fall, almost like I don't know, 50 meters, something like that. I know, or I'm very afraid to do it because if I do it, I will get so shocked that maybe I will have. I think I would have like a heart attack or something like that, and that's why I'm not planning to do it. I don't want to do it anytime soon, and chances are that I will spend the rest of my life without knowing the feeling of bungee jumping. Now I'm asking you guys: does that happen to you with something, with a certain activity, Jordi?
Yeah, I think that something very similar to what happens to you, um, with bungee jumping, for example. I mean, those kind of extreme sports, I completely avoid them because I mean it's not my thing, and exactly because of the same reason you said. I am more afraid that because of me being nervous or something, I can get like a heart attack or whatever. That's why I avoid them. And funnily enough, I mean that is not the kind of emotion that I like. I mean, I am perfectly fine with the emotion of getting into a fight, things like that, like a bar fight. I am into that kind of emotion. But the moment you or someone tells me, you know what, let's go bungee jumping, like no, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's pretty much and that was the reason why I didn't watch horror movies, because I was like, nah, something is going to jump out of nowhere and I'm going to be like so surprised or scared that I'm going to have a heart attack right in the middle of the movie theater or in my living room. So that's why I avoid them, those kind of movies. But I think that at least with horror movies, I'm fine now, or relatively fine. I mean, when we watch horror movies, I'm still like, oh no, oh no, and I cover my eyes. But at least I kind of try it. But for bungee jumping, skydiving, that sort of thing, it's like, please no, please no. Not going to lie, my wife wanted to go skydiving for her birthday, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And I had like I knew where to do it. I had money and whatnot. Well, kind of had the money. Um, but the moment that we knew she was pregnant, I was like, whoa, I don't have to do it. Yeah, it was like a big relief. Of course, I know I am perfectly aware that at some point she's going to ask me to do it again, and I mean I won't be able to do anything, and I will have to be like, okay, let's do this. But but yeah, I mean, yes.
Right.
Oh man, I hope she keeps forgetting to ask you to do it again.
She won't. She won't. I can guarantee she
Really?
won't. Yes.
Oh man. Then I hope you find the courage to do it
Yeah.
when the moment comes. When the
Yes.
moment comes.
Me
And of
too.
course, I hope that everything turns out to be okay. All right,
Yeah.
everything will be fine. Ah, what about you, Carmen? Is there something you don't do because of the fear of death?
I I don't know. I mean, I I don't think so. I mean, I don't do a lot of things because I am afraid, like for example with um I don't know when you go to Six Flags, I have never gone or I have never ridden the Superman or the Wonder Woman because they are like super scary for me. I can't do it. My sister did it. I For me that is impossible. But it's not because I think I'm going to die. It's I don't know. I am just so scared that for me that's impossible. There are many
Okay.
many things that I won't ever do because they are scary for me. Not necessarily because I'm going to die, but because I don't like to be stressed. Even like Jordi said, I don't like to watch horror movies because it's our suspense movies, anything like that. I mean, if I watch a movie, I want to relax. I want to have a good time, to laugh a little bit. So it's like, why would I watch a movie that's going to keep me like this 2 hours? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, that really narrows it down. That really narrows it down. But all right, all right, all right, all right. It's I just I mean it's because I'm trying to like figure it out that what keeps us going. Because of something that Jordi said, like he avoids extreme sports and he avoids the feeling of tension that horror movies give you. But he's into like pretty heavy rushes, like being in a bar fight or maybe something a very intense feeling. When do we know when to receive them and when do we know to avoid them? Who knows? Only we know at the right moment. But okay, guys, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm so glad that you guys made it through your experiences. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you did, and I wish the best for you. And of course, take care. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Thank you so much, guys, once more for being here, for taking the time. I will see you pretty soon. And
Of
to
course.
all of our viewers, I hope this video was also very helpful for you. If you had a near death experience, be welcome to share it in the comments. This is a very safe place. But I mean, cherish life. Live as if there was no tomorrow. At least that's my tip for you, for anyone. Thank you so much, guys. My name is. We had Jordi. We had Carmen. Eric Rios was in the controls. I am Mike Reese. Without further ado, goodbye and good night.